I always considered it a superpower to be invisible. I always imagined it could sit on my forehead like a jewel, a diadem, a badge of something better than just hurt. But this, like many magics you will find in the market today, was a result of self-fulfilling prophecy. I thought I was a small creature with clever, beady eyes, sharp and witty, almost sick with how full to the brim with words I was. A rat, a feral cat, a lark warbling for the beauty of the morning. But I'd tell them, as I'm telling you, this is what I am. And the response that echoed back through the trees made a susurrus over the fields of ferns behind the chain-link fence was, who is speaking to us? What is making a noise at the dreaming gods? We cannot see it here. And so I crawled to the water's edge, the mender's pond, the almost luridly green, stale pool in the middle of myself, and peered in. I thought I was a small creature. I thought I could see the eyes. I thought I was screaming myself as loud as I possibly could into the heavens. But perhaps not. Perhaps it was only a whisper. After a time, I began to lose that reflection entirely. I could approach a mirror and see a wall, see a friend slicking her lips with ruby woo, and I would wave my arms, certain that I was there, just as she was. But I'd see nothing. Not a small creature, not a human girl, not a dreaming god. I'd blink and look and squirm, and at times my friend would smile, make a joke, call my name, and the outline seemed to be the slightest bit opaquer. When she left without a word, as she often did, I realized that I could go anywhere, with anyone, and not be anything. I could sneak up behind anyone. The shrieks you'd hear when they realized I'd been there the whole time, just minding my own business, quietly contemplating the popcorn in the ceiling, or turning the page of a book. The light might turn on as if by its own accord, and they'd startle in their sudden awareness of your presence, sure that they had been alone in their solitude, frustrated at your being and taking up of the silence and space they had believed they were lord of. Invisibility in a crowd, like a creedless assassin, is safety. It's never being bothered or toyed with or interrupted. It's being free to stroll, to spin, to toss another rusted pike into the lagoon within, and hear no never mind about it. Just a solitary, heartless splash, and the huffy is as equally forgotten. But when you think of your life, flip back through the imaginations you've made up in your mind to record it, and you realize how little you are in those photographs. Many hands have passed right through your chest, through your sternum. How many times you've heard someone else's I love you, unbidden. There's a sort of sour lump that settles in your throat. I thought it was a superpower, but now I'm not so sure. So, here are some magical tactics to divest yourself or myself of a cloak of invisibility. The one that might be tearing at you tonight as if it were woven with nettles and needles. The one you may just now be seeing as the mantle of lies it always was. This is not a thing another human soul can sunder. You must wear noisy jewelry, build a conjure bag of blue silk, and fill it with items that click and clack. Tie it to your hip. Dye your hair a color that frightens you. I recommend purple. Spend money on something you've been waiting for someone else to approve. Start, in whatever way you can, to scroll yourself on the face of this world. But mainly, pack a midnight lunch of delicious things, healthy things, things you want to eat. Noisy foods will help. Crackers, cold and slurpy noodles, celery sticks, fizzy lifting drinks. Don't sit in the dark. Turn on the lights. Turn on your most favorite song for dancing. Stand up and make the journey to the reservoir within your chest. Stay at the water's edge. And in your mind and in your shapely shape, shake it, baby, shake it. Let the neighbor ash his cigarette and grumble as you live a human life overhead. Let the birds fly out from the trees as you commit this act of reckoning. Let the selva oscura get pierced with light as you dig your heels in and demand freedom from your invisibility. Spend this evening stomping the shadow off of you, or at least the first, most exterior layer of unseenness, the umbra of disregard, sheer and shearing. Know this as you make these blessed movements. A metaphoric tearing out of the hidden dimension you've called home and into the world where we all are waiting. You will be, you are whole and entire and true and full. When you feel the sweat, when you feel the opinions rising, when you feel the blood ruddying your cheeks, you've made your holy space. You don't have to be loud. You just have to be intelligible to the universe. You just have to wake the dreaming gods. Say the thing. Say the thing. Say the thing. I am not waiting to be. I am. And I feast on the gods that would dare to sleep when I choose to dance. And in the water, we'll wait until we see the small creature's face we recognize as our own, rising up and reflecting in the moonlight on the murk within. Those beady, intelligent eyes. To represent this, you might hold a small mirror. Hold it steady until you see that self that has been so hidden, so forgotten, so sold off for the cheap, boring happiness we imagine on behalf of others. Give that curious thing a wink. Tell them they are welcome and free to join your picnic if they'd like. Maybe they'll sink back like yet another stone feeding the void. Maybe they'll sing. But you've met one another now, and you'll never be able to lose them in a crowd again. To close this ritual, write it as an affirmation 5 times in a row. I am not waiting to be. I am. 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 Take a deep gulp of your drink. A deep breath. And know you've got allies out here, willing ourselves moment by moment into the lives we deserve. If you like this, liking and commenting and subscribing, that great triad, does a world of good. Thanks, and we'll be here next week